Okay, so let's get your form here. What got you interested in coaching?
Uh, I've been playing Overwatch and Overwatch for like a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
and Tracer specifically. And I've been following you and your channel for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've seen your other coaching sessions that I watched a fair amount of them, and they've all just seemed to go really well. And I mean, like if I'm trying to learn more Tracer stuff, the basic guides on YouTube aren't gonna cut it anymore. Or
Right.
like I want to get into more nuanced things and things that are problems that are specific to my gameplay.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, and I mean, I mean, I can probably learn this stuff if I like focus and put a lot of time into
Yeah.
it. But like having just I don't know, it's like learning an instrument, learning a language. Just having someone who's more knowledgeable that can point things out to you is usually faster
Sure.
than
Sure.
just self learning.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely increases. I like the way the word you used there. Like it makes it a little bit faster. That's definitely true. Did you see what I posted today on YouTube?
I mean, oh, the tracer guide. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
actually,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I,
But go
I
ahead.
actually watched that raw stream or the
The
original like
VOD?
VOD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That
Um.
was a fun one. That was a fun
So
one. Okay,
that was
cool,
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I'm sure a lot of the same concepts we'll pull up today, but obviously we'll see what you need to work on specifically. So break me down your history of Overwatch. How long you've been playing? When did you start? How long you've been playing Tracer, and so on.
Sure. I started playing Overwatch after I like graduated college and then got a job, and
Mm-hmm.
this was about maybe like probably 3 years ago now. I built my PC, and then when I was like growing up, I saw people playing like Quake and other like kind of fast FPS,
Yep.
and I was like, I really wanted to get into that. And then when I got to this age, when I got to the age that I built my PC, I'm like, well, the game is dead, so that
Huh.
kind of sucks.
Huh.
So I was like looking online, like, what's the next best like arena shooter type thing, fast, like mechanical,
Mm-hmm.
and some people said Overwatch, especially because of the instant movement. You can like strafe back and forth, and there's no like movement slowdown, or
Mm-hmm.
the movement in Overwatch like arena-ish. Um, and I was like, okay, well, what's like the most like mechanically intensive, like flashy character? And people said people said Tracer, yeah.
Yep.
Uh, and then so then I just started playing her. I thought she was really cool, and I liked how when I saw other people talk about her, they mentioned that she was she was honest. Like if you got killed
Yep.
by Tracer, generally speaking, like they're good. It's not
Right.
like I mean I don't want to say like if you get killed by a Junkrat, it's not skilled. Like I mean
Uh-huh.
if you're Aquamarine sniped out of the air out of the Junkrat, that's pretty cool. But otherwise, like if I beat someone, I wanted them to know it's because I was good, because
Yep.
I had skill that I worked for.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know, I guess that's just sort of a me trait. Like uh, I like training hard and like seeing the fruits of my labor.
Uh-huh.
And Chaser just feels like a really good hero for that,
Okay.
at least to me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, like you said, the honest hero, the flashy hero. There is something about that, and I think that really hits home to me too. Because like I literally started Overwatch because of Genji. Because
Oh yeah.
I played like previously, like played an MMO with like a stealth based class, super flashy, super hard, difficult to get value out of, super fast paced, and I was like, it's literally Genji, you know. And
Yeah.
I played my first game of Genji, and I got play of the game with Blade at a friend's house playing on console, and I was
Yeah.
horrible, but I was just like chop, and I was like, this feels awesome, you know. And that's literally what
Yeah.
got me into Overwatch, you know. And I liked it because it was a high skill hero, right? It's like, you know, it's a little bit of it's, you know, you wouldn't get it. You're not playing a high skill hero like I am,
Yeah.
you know. Like I said,
Yeah.
honest. That's a great way of describing it. Okay, so when we talk about like where you're at right now, you are masters on Tracer. Long term, you want to hit top 500, become a good tracer. Short term, learn which engagements are worth taking, how to time those engagements, where to position for those engagements. So you know all the fancy terminology. You've been watching too many of my videos. What is it about top 500 that is appealing to you? Is it just this game, just something casual? Did you just be fun to master, or is something beyond that?
Yeah. I think I just want to prove that I can do it. That if I work hard, that it can be done. I feel like a lot of people, especially younger people, think that it's like predestined, things like genetics. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not genetically capable of. And I
Right.
honestly I think a lot of it's bull. Yeah, if you want to be like top 0.001% of something, maybe genetics will matter. But I think that for a lot of activities, if you want to get into I don't know top 10% or something like that, like it just takes time. It
Right.
takes time and effort, and I think a lot of people dismiss that when they see top players. They think, oh, they're just built different in quotations,
Right.
and
Right.
maybe there's some small truth to that, but I think it really kind of dismisses it under it, like it reduces the hard work and time that
Right.
they've put in.
Well, it's an
Yeah.
excuse, right? It's a something that the reason I'm not is because I can't, right? Rather than the
Hmm.
reason I'm not is because I have not or I don't want to be in like there people that's an inconvenient truth, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely agreed there. So
Yeah.
you are that's kind of like you to prove to yourself that you can be good enough. Is that kind of like where we're at here?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Well, we can do that then. Let's get to your training schedule then. So this is not a question on the forum, so you're just gonna have to tell me straight up. What's
Yep.
your average day look like? How much do you play? Do you ever take any days off? Do you warm up? Do you aim train? So on.
Yeah. Yeah. So for warm ups, I mean, I used to do like some Kovacs, and then I would do try hard. But then I
Mm-hmm.
saw in your previous coaching sessions, you're like it mostly try hard is I would say the most bang for your buck in terms of
Mm-hmm.
the time you put in, just because
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
literally in the game. I'm practicing the tracer mechanics with blinks,
Right.
uh,
Right.
and
Right.
I don't know. I have like like just a couple hundred hours in Kovacs. I don't think it's that much, but I've gotten to the point where my aim is like my raw just like ability to move the mouse. I'm confident with it, and
Right.
then I want to get more specific into like the tracer mechanics, not just raw
Right. Right.
mechanics. So
Right.
now
Agreed.
I mostly do like half an hour of try hard FFA
Okay.
before going into a game, and then in terms of how many games I play, I try to shoot for like 7 to 8 games a day. That's
Okay.
what I strive for. But lately, it's been it's been like 2 games a day, and I think it's just yeah. Like yesterday, or was it the day before? I was in your stream and you were talking about like competitiveness and oh, no, I was the one who asked why you stopped being a Spitfire coach, which I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before on your stream, but you
Mm-hmm.
addressed that question. Because right now in my life, like I have other I have other sort of passions that I feel like pursuing. I didn't really know like how committed I wanted to be to Overwatch and like what I really wanted. Uh, so then I was kind of like, and also I had some like losing streaks, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of a bit deterred. But I think after like uh, kind of watching you talk about like your competitiveness and how you're applying it to other things, it doesn't have to be Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I kind of made me okay with if I just it kind of made me like okay with if I just hit GM. Top 500 is still cool and that's still something I would like to strive for, but it kind of tempered my competitive aspects. I never
Sure.
wanted to be like Owl or anything. Like
Yeah.
that's just not for me. I have a career in other things, so
Right. Right.
um, just
Right.
yeah. The past couple of days, just kind of wondering what I really want and how much effort I want to put into it.
Right.
Uh, and I after seeing your stream and kind of thinking about what I want, I still do want to put in the time for GM and potentially top 500. Um, and I know that that's gonna take maybe like 7 to 8 games a day, probably.
Yeah, I think that's a good base. That's like I would say bare minimum, but it's yeah. I think it's possible. Certainly GM.
Mhm. So
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I respect it. I think like the key thing is that like it's easy to get kind of caught up with yourself or with like the social situation that you're in, where it's like I have to get the GM or it's so important to me, right? But then like when you get a little bit of
yeah,
like objective viewpoint, you're like it's not the most important thing in the history of the world. And like you said, it's like to me the reason why I do coaching is it's like one of my friends makes fun of me like you're getting all these kids to do all these unhealthy habits, and I'm like making fun of me. And I'm like for me it's more about like okay, you're a video game player. How can we make this as productive as we possibly can?
yeah,
Like, what can we learn from this? Because to me, I learned so much during my path to GM slash really my path learning how to coach. That is really, I mean, I've learned more during this job than any other job I've had previous to this.
oh, wow.
So it's like, to me, it's like I want that to be everybody's experience. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you played Overwatch, you didn't just rank up, but like to me, it's like people always send me their screenshots of when they ranked up, and that's great and all, but like to me it's like, well, how did you grow as a person? What did you learn?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, about competing, or how to improve, or how to learn better? What did you do? What problems did you solve during this that will help you later on? And I think that to me is like the challenge. And so for you, it's like getting the GM top 500, like you're saying. It might not just be the fact of getting the GM to top 500, that's the value. It's like what you had to do to get there, what you learned along the way, that's going to help you elsewhere. That's what's important to me. You know, that's why I don't just say play mindlessly. You know what I'm saying? That's inefficient, and I think that's actually a negative thing in terms of building good habits for the future. So, yeah. Okay, let's work towards that then. Let's go through this form. So, hero pool tracer 7 to 8. We talked about your warm up routine. I think everything looks fine and crispy there, which is what I would expect from someone who's watched a few of my videos. You know, there's nothing really to adjust there. 7 to 8 is definitely on the lower end, but I think it's probably fine. As long as those games are intense and you have goals, it should be okay.
Okay.
Sleep looks good too. What do you hope to get out of this session? Let's actually look at these last few questions before we jump to the gameplay. A better understanding of what engages are worth taking, given the comp versus comp. I feel like I'm hearing myself come out of your voice. And how to better time and position for them.
Bro, it's because I watched like one of your Tracer GM reviews.
Yeah.
And, like, the only reason I wanted to get me personally get a review is because I'm a Tracer OTP. Like I have like almost 1,000 hours on Tracer so far, and the next hero is like Diva with like 56 hours, and that was only because of Flex Pass and Overwatch 1. So
Right.
like I saw other people playing Tracer in GM, but it was like maybe their second hero or third hero or something like that. And I wanted to get a review as someone who really only plays Tracer and like
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the case. I mean, there's a lot of things that like in my life, because I'm a coach, I like get obsessed with, and I learn a lot about, and I feel like I know a lot of things about. But then I still wish sometimes that, and I do get coaching sometimes on those things, even if I feel like I know a lot of the answers that are getting spat at me. I know the sense of hierarchy, the sense of priority for me, or maybe I'll get a different perspective. So yeah, okay. And the last question here: what do you feel is holding you back from improving? Understanding my team's comp versus comp. Okay. Yeah.
Literally what I asked.
Yeah. And how Tracer could provide maximum value. Honestly, mate, I got nothing else here. Do you have any other questions?
No.
You got a code
I
for
watched
me, then.
enough of your prior streams to hopefully streamline this for you a bit.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this isn't even streamlined. This thing doesn't have a bump anywhere. It's just straight up. All right. Do you have a code for me?
All right. Yeah, I'll send you 2.
All right. I've been doing this new strategy of my own where I'm playing like 2 games on Ramatra every day.
Oh yeah.
Trying to see if I can actually like learn or improve at the hero. It's not so much like a rank goal for me, so much as like, do I feel like I actually improve at the hero? Because I can coach the hero well enough I want to understand the hero a little bit more, you know. So I'm trying to spend some time. I did that with Orisa and it really paid off. So I'm trying to do that with Ramatra.
Yeah, I feel as a general statement, like sucking at something and then getting better at it is like one of the best feelings.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've learned some micro stuff too, which is going to help me in my future sessions. Although I will say, Orisa in the mirror is dull, but man, was Orisa in season 1, season 2 way more fun than Ramatra. I do not like playing Ramatra, man. That guy's so boring for me.
Dude, I watch your streams. You love the ult. You're always talking about how great the ult design is.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so boring, man. Like the only thing that I find like really, really fun is when I go Nemesis farm and I pull off like a crazy flick punch on a squishy that's like trying to jump around me, and I like smack it. That feels good.
Those are me as Tracer. I've been on the receiving end, and it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Compared to like the other Ramatras that like, they just play them because their team told them swap to the meta, and then
right.
But yeah.
So unsatisfying to ult though, and I just not very fluid to me. Okay, so Tracer time. Let's I don't even need to ask you what Tracer's good at. All I'll ask is has there been or was there anything in recent times that you've been improving on, or is it just mostly just kind of playing for the sake of playing?
Let me think of specific. There are a few sort of like scenarios that I don't know how to like deal with or answer as Tracer, and so I guess one of them would be when the other team is like double hit scan.
Yep.
And we're on a really long map, like I guess like this one, but also like Havana. And me as Tracer, I can like triple blink behind the we get to the back line, and
Yep.
well, and then I'll sit there and stabilize. I'm not gonna try and int. But then I wonder, like, should I be poking at all, even though like it's very unlikely for me to kill anyone in the back line if I'm the only one there. My team is
Right.
still like miles away and spawn pushing up.
Right.
And so then I sit there sometimes, and then my team just keeps dying, or like they keep getting
Right.
picked.
I see what you're saying. So it's like the downtime versus, oh no, am I going to get poked out? But then also there's 4 members of my teammate fighting. Should I fight with them? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen you talk to like other tracers like doing some sort of poking, and it's like in that situation, it's like there's no point. You should have just been conserving time or like waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm. It's in situations like those I don't know
Okay.
if I should be helping be like a sort of off tank to like
Sure. I see what you're saying.
pull some attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's one.
Does that
Um,
happen in any of these codes that you sent in?
I kind of in this one.
Okay. Good. Okay. Keep going.
And then the second one is uh dealing with Sombra,
Mm.
which is actually sort of a rare situation. I don't really see her that much anymore, but like she like it if she's just like camping with her backline and I try to do anything to her backline, like if I'm far enough in the backline that my team can't see me, then I might die, or
Yeah.
I can risk dying. So then I'm
Uh-huh.
like, well, do I just play closer to my backline
No,
and
no, no,
deny?
no, 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 no. Think about
Yeah,
it. Think
so
about it. So, wait, though, with the situation that you exactly just described, which is Sombra sitting inside of her own backline, what's the solution?
I guess uh I can like try to like be safe about it, like still try to put pressure on the backline, but
Mm-hmm.
like not commit so hard,
Sure.
or not be so far in the backline and not be so like risky that I'm going to die. Like
Yeah.
it can be near
Yeah.
health packs and
Right.
like
Right.
okay, yeah.
Right. You see what
So
I'm saying? Like, because the thing is like, does she should like, what's the downside of sitting inside your own backline? Right? Should be pretty
she's
obvious.
not she's
Right.
her only purpose is to deny me.
Right.
Like
So then you could still do your job, you just can't do it as much, and then now you're getting even more reward on your investment. You're gonna get any kills? Probably not. Probably not a single one. But oh my days, in terms of like what you were describing as the quote unquote off tank assisting taking space, you're gonna be so good at that. Like look at all the attention you're gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? And so
that's like a
and if you expect it, she can't kill you. She just can't kill you. You know?
yeah. I was gonna say that's like a big thing that I uh have tried to learn or like realize is like just because you can't kill someone doesn't mean that you're not providing value.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially on a flank. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember I had a coaching session with Temporal like a year ago or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I would always try. I would go on the flank, and then I remember this saying as well: if there's someone there, win the duel and then push forward.
Yep.
And I would force the duel all the time, and even when I would just die.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of like tried to refine my gameplay, and I would just contest it, and I might not kill them, but I would push them out.
Well, was it a
And
raw 1v1 or was it a 1v1 with them also getting a little bit of help?
it was a 1v1, and then they started to lose, and then they went towards their back line, and then I wanted to
Right.
confirm the kill. And that's
Right.
when it's like, it's too
Right.
far, but
Right.
I've already done my job in sort of one
Correct.
space,
Correct.
which I didn't know before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll take a look. Is there any Sombra gameplay in any of these codes either?
No, it's
Tragic. Okay. Well, I hope that kind of answers the question then.
Yeah.
You
It
could
definitely
really
helps.
ruin her day. And the thing with Sombra as well is if she does end up kind of splitting from her backline, she doesn't beat you in the 1v1 usually. She's not the hack duration won't last long enough before you recall, and then you're going to force her translocator. But then you're still going to be able to beat her in the duel. And if you find her locator, then she's cooked. Like Tracer is probably one of the best, if not the best DPS in the Sombra.
The only issue is like when she's like on a health pack that she's hacked, it's like I can't really.
Right, but then again, that's limiting her scope. It's the same thing in sitting inside her backline. She's now in her little happy safe space, but she can't contest anywhere else without losing the 1v1. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've contained her. Okay, she can have that space, whatever. I don't need to contest it anymore.
That's another lesson for me to like. You don't have to kill her, but like just
Right.
like limiting her
Right.
capability is enough of a
Right, and it applies to a lot of other things too, like the Widowmaker's playing inside of her backline too. Okay, maybe I can't contest Widow as much or can't play for the kill. Oh my days, that's a loud vehicle. But yeah, like you're still doing your job. You're limiting where she can play, and then maybe you're just indirect pressure by making her play inside of her backline is good enough.
Mm-hmm. There is I guess one more type of like comp that I'm not quite sure how to play. So let's say an enemy team is like double, their DPS is like double dive, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
Sombra Tracer or Tracer
Mm-hmm.
Genji, and I have a hit scan and I'm also Tracer. And in my mind, what the dive is gonna try to do is try to like attack my Widow or attack my like
Yes.
poke hero,
Yes.
and I just want to like protect her so that she can deliver successful poke,
Right.
as that's sort of her role.
Yep.
And that's I wasn't sure if that's like the or like that's
Yes.
what I should be doing,
Yep.
so I just wanted to bring that up.
100%. 100%. I'm going to send you a timestamp
Sweet.
for a session I did just a few days ago. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's about halfway through. Check it out. Probably
Okay.
about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from that timestamp is pertinent. But we talk about exactly that because they're playing, I believe it was a Rhine comp with a Cass or something like that into Sombra foolishness, and
Mm,
basically just contesting their flankers, knowing that obviously you're going to lose that 2v1, right? So you just need to be very
yeah.
careful about it. But if you can keep them tied up, then your
Two
Cass,
people
your
to one.
BAP, right. Then what ended up happening, this Tracer did a pretty good job of it, is what ended up happening is the Reinhardt, the ball kept slamming basically by himself
Mhm.
without follow-up. And that is significantly easier to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. Makes
Okay.
sense?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I'll check that out
Yeah,
later.
no worries, no worries. But yeah, contesting, you're 100% right. Like if you're able to contest the dive, especially the divers that you have very good 1v1s versus, aka Genji, Tracer, Sombra, not ball's too slow, too hard to kill, right? So if you can
Mhm.
contest them, you'll not, and if you're good at those 1v1s, you'll do a 1 for 1.25 trade, right? Where you Tracer for Tracer, plus maybe a little bit of help. Plus maybe you force a
Yeah.
recall and you don't get your recall forced. Because usually what happens with dive comps is a ball tracer doesn't kill you. A ball tracer plus Discord will kill you, or a ball tracer plus Sombra will kill you. So if you could tie up just that one resource or that one hero, that really is helpful. Really, really. A single ball shouldn't be able to kill you if you're marking the tracer.
Yeah, that's such a big game sense thing. Is like killing isn't everything. Like there's
Right.
so many like small little lead ups to the kill, like space and like
Right.
picking their resources, and it's just something I need to remind myself because I get really tunnel visioned on my team's not gonna win if I don't kill anyone.
Right.
Which, yeah,
Right. Well, it's not about like knowing which backline is more vulnerable to the enemy divers, right? Like which composition has better range. I mean, you could even look at the composition that you're playing right now. Like let's say that their cast is on like Tracer, right?
yeah,
Or their Widow was on Tracer, for example. You would need to consider the enemy hit scan silence and be cautious. But theoretically, your composition with the Mercy versus the Brig would be happier if they were unpressured and just able to hold down right click, right?
yeah.
Whereas that
We have
Brig needs to be
weird.
more proactive with it, and so therefore that this would be a situation where you can mark. Now, obviously, it's not really relevant. You're running double hit scan, but just something to kind of consider. Okay.
Hmm.
Any other questions?
So far, no.
Okay. Get started. Yeah, let's take a look here. I just want to look at gameplay. There'll be a lot to look at. Haha.
She saw me
Saw
because
you
I
from
just
spawn.
walked into the open space. Yeah,
Yeah, it happens.
and they're chasing me. I'm like, okay, I need to just survive now.
Yep.
Oh, actually, can you pause real quick?
Yes.
So, uh, a big thing on Tracer, to me at least, is like being stealthy and just trying to conceal my position. And in other games, other FPS games I played, in quotation, sound whore a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that when Tracer is completely crouching and moving,
Mm-hmm.
she's near silent. But and I will often see other Tracers like do the alternating crouch uncrouch thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tested this with other players. Like I literally go into like try hard FFA and I will just uncrouch, like walk around the map and ask people how loud it is, and they'll say they can still hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm a very like if I hear someone, like even just like one or two footsteps, I will not forget them. I will do my best to remember where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I get kind of like worried when I'll try to be sneaking up and I'm just crouching and I feel
Right.
like I'm so slow. So I just don't know about that trade off. Like is it worth it for me to commit to being completely silent and then I'm sort of slow,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, or should I be
Well,
uncrouching?
there's
Which
nuance, isn't there? So let me ask you a question right now. So you're so attentive to sound, then you should be able to answer this question for me. Has the fight started? Has the fight started now?
uh Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it has, right? You can hear the Rhine swings. You can even see your Rhine swinging through walls, right? So then what's the priority at this point in time?
Is like actually providing
Right.
value, like reducing the poke that my team is
Right,
taking.
right, and taking the 5v5, right? Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the kind of nuance that you have to find, is you have to be as attentive to sound, to not only your own footsteps, obviously, but like what's actually happening. Because if you didn't hear anything really yet, then you could continue to crouch, and then eventually you would even be able to see, right? Like maybe your team has just completely forfeited and played this corner, and then there's no rush. You should continue to crouch, right? But as soon as you start to hear the trades, the alarm bells need to start going, and it's okay to be late as Tracer because you're very lethal when you're late because people get distracted. But we don't want to. We want to be 1 second, 2 seconds late, 3 seconds late, not 5 seconds late.
Yeah, there have definitely been times when the fight's happening and I am crouching and moving like a snail, like to the widow or something. And I mean, maybe it results in a kill, but I like them. Like I don't want to. It's not fun. Also, by the way, like when the fight is happening, then I'm allowed to.
So let's find out.
Put in value. Okay.
Okay. It's kind of funny here because here's the trade-off of a double blink versus just walking, right? Which would have been a single blink. Probably okay. I mean, it's cute. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against it. I think it's probably pretty reasonable. And you did get here within the window, right? You were not late, I would say, or at least not overly late. You were at a good time. So yeah, let's see what happens. There you go. Looks good. I like the use of cover as well.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I could have just walked. And...
You could have, but I don't think it was necessarily bad what you did. You hit within the window. The walking would have given away your position earlier and saved you a blink. Is that worth the trade? I'm not sure. Very close to me. Very close to me. I think because it was a Widowmaker, you were playing for the one clip. I think the element of surprise was fine.
Yeah, that's my concern. Is like I can save a blink, but like if my walking makes her turn towards me, then I have to blink, and that blink might not necessarily be as like aggressive.
Right.
As
well, you double blinked, right? That's the thing. You double blinked.
Yeah.
That was the thing. One blink was necessary regardless for the reasons that you just said, for at least the juke or whatever. But two blinks may not have been necessary. That being said, I think it was fine. I think there's a good argument for either engage.
Okay. Yeah, and I appreciate these like splitting hair thing. Like I want to get.
Well,
to this, like,
yeah, yes and no, but it's. If you have a problem with being overly, creepy, this is probably something that happens probably pretty frequently. So it's worth considering and answering in full, so that way when this happens in the future, you have a general idea, a feel for it.
Okay.
This is spooky.
This is funny. It's funny. I don't think she saw me, even though I saw her.
I don't think she did either.
There are some people who are so like.
I don't think she did. If she did, she's trying to bait you. Brig is looking for you.
Oh, this Brig is on me the whole game, which is, I mean, we'll see how that goes later. But
like right here, is there any rush? Tough question, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it would be definitely nice if I could see like the orange arrows that indicate that people are being hit. I don't actually see where my Ryan.
I don't either. Do you hear anything?
At this moment, I probably didn't. No, I think they were setting up to take this. Like,
no,
right.
So no rush, but you could probably anticipate something happening soon. See, this is acceptable, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because nothing's
and
happening.
I think here, like, I know that I can't one clip anything. Like, it's just too hard. So I just start like trying to pay attention and go for stuff.
Yeah. So this is what's the problem with this engage? The timing is probably pretty reasonable. Here's you want to hear the irony? You could even argue, if anything, that this is a little early.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, I mean, anyway, yeah. But it had to do more with the Ryan trade. So, okay, so that's definitely something to consider. The other thing to consider is uptime, right?
Once I use my recall, I can't really do anything.
Well, what forces you to use your recall?
I'm too early. Like, so then they all
yes, and what else? Look at your positioning on this pressure right here. Where's your uptime? I mean, if we go back to your previous engage, last fight, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, right? So foolishness. Okay. And then let's count the seconds that you were engaged.
Yeah.
332. I mean, just 8 seconds right there, at least, right? So here, what's the difference between these two engages?
I go in
2
immediately,
seconds.
and I'm just like, I have to get out.
Well, let's watch. You see it? Or rather, do you not see it?
The other supports and people were like further in the fight.
Yeah.
The Widow was like in the back.
Yeah. What else? Let me give you a hint.
Oh, I had cover and was able to isolate them?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Cover is so big for Tracer because it's what increases your uptime. So when you go for this engage right here, you are all in, 1 clip, and immediately recall, nothing else. So this is the balance, right? Everything about this review so far has been about balance. This is playing for the 1 clip. 1 clip is not reasonable in this situation.
Yeah.
So by going for it and failing, which should have been predictable, you compromise your ability to stay here and have to immediately recall. So let's hindsight coach here and tell me how you should have engaged here.
It would have been better, I think, if I like the little cubby in to the left of the screen, I could have got closer here and sort of waited.
Sure. You could have gotten here, shot the Ana, or you could have gotten here, 1 blink, shoot the Widow Brig, double blink to here, shoot, and then hide, and then you can stabilize here, right? You could have gotten 1 blink. You could have even just sat here and jiggle peeked, blink wide, blink in, shoot, recall, back, jiggle peek. You know what I'm saying? You could have gone up top, and done this from here. Lots of uptime to be had up here, right? But you see what I'm saying, right? Like there's a few options. There's good arguments for either one, but you play for the 1 clip, all in the 1 clip. You don't consider how you want to like kind of set up. And that's important, right? You're playing Tracer, but your positioning matters. Like corner, not just the flank that you're on, but like the specific positioning where you want to be fighting. Because this sucks now, right?
Yeah.
And then now what, right? Now you're just a complete non-factor. And this is where you had your very first question, right?
Right? Yeah, like when is it worth it to do like...
Right. But what's the real problem here? What's the real problem? It's not what's happening right now, is it? It's what happened here.
I had the opportunity.
Right? This is the mistake.
Yeah.
That caused you to be put in this quandary right here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how to like phrase what the issue is.
Yeah.
Well, I went in. Yeah. When I went for an unrealistic 1 clip, and then I had to recall out immediately. I also wasn't using any cover. I wasn't using any cover.
You ready for this?
Is it just I wasn't set up properly?
Just no cover. That's all.
Oh.
No cover.
Yeah. It's funny because later in this game, I do triple blink behind the statue thing that you were talking about with the mini. I don't know why sometimes, and then I forget. Like it takes so much effort to like clear me out if they don't have like a mobile hero. And I was like almost surprised. I'm like I can literally just be sitting here, and then so
I would say either no cover or not setting up. Same thing, really.
Okay.
Now I would argue from here, I would probably blink in through here and then start to peek from here, rather than sit where I'm at. So I definitely don't think you dealt with this bad situation as well as you could, but you really put yourself in a hole. Make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's something more actionable because right here, obviously a little bit rough. This is fine though. Nice. Good use of cover, right? Widow peeks you, Briggs on you. Good use of cover, right? This as well is kind of stupid. Like, I appreciate.
Sometimes I just burn my recall sometimes just because I don't.
Well, you're so thirsty for that Widow. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Like if the opportunity presents itself, but there's just no way this is gonna work, right? Like, She could one-shot combo you, right? She could do the swing bash whip shot combo, right? Which is, I think they can do it. Like, I think they can cancel the bash with whip shot now. It's like actually crazy.
Yeah, there are some good brigs that surprised me without.
So they can essentially just plonk you and you're down. And like, was it really worth it to just try and contest the Widow here? Like, I get it, this sucks, but this is the brig doing her job. So you need to beat the brig. You could shoot here, blink around here, shoot. Because the other thing with brig as well is it's like her uptime. It's really low when she doesn't have whip shot, right? You're giving her uptime by walking into her, whereas you could be shooting, blinking here, maybe juke the whip shot, and then just shoot, break her shield, and then go through her for the Widow or something like that. I don't know. This is like, yes, you distracted the Widow, but now you've got a massive downtime. I'm trying to think of a good analogy here.
I think
it's like saving up for a Maserati, right? But eating corn and beans for 7 years.
Honestly, I'm okay. I don't have high standards for food.
Okay, that was actually a horrible example. Corn and beans doesn't even sound that bad. Now that I'm thinking about it, but let's like eating like oh crud. I can't think of something.
Dude, when I was in college, I ate hot dogs on white bread sometimes.
Okay,
and I was okay with it.
Okay. So let's say you save it for a Maserati. But the house is like 40 degrees all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or, you know, it's like at some point the cost is just too high to pay for that one burst of value. You just don't do anything the rest of the fight. Like even mathematically, right? What's better, to do half pressure for 12 seconds or full pressure for 2? You know, just do the math. You know what I'm saying? It's effective 6 seconds of pressure versus effective 2 seconds of pressure. You right? So this just isn't worth it, you know, because like, look, I mean, this is just, it's just painful, right? How much downtime you have because you're not considering cover. You're not considering cover, and you're only playing for the one clip because it's a Widowmaker. Some of that's micro, but the first one's macro, and that one needs to be fixed because that applies versus all matchups, all compositions, down to Tracer 1v1s, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Huh. Rat.
Kind of silly.
What do you hear?
I
heard clong, 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 clong. I heard Ryan's.
Oh, okay.
You hear? It's all coming back. I'm telling you, if we're gonna talk about sound, that's the number one sound. That tells you when you should be doing this, right? Because I get it. This is a super weird position. You can't see anything, but then you need to go off of sound. You need to go off of sound because this is good, but it's accidentally good.
I want to explain what my thinking was earlier because that might help like me understand what I'm doing. So like, when I first went for that like one clip on the Widow and it was obviously not gonna with the brig, I think that was because I thought my team was further up, and maybe that's because. And then I thought like I need to do something now, and even a couple seconds of me just like removing the Widow's threat would have been fine. And then once that happened, and once my recall's forced, which I just do sometimes prematurely because it's funny, I don't know. Then I just relegate myself to just being a backline pest. And like in this case, I guess it's occasionally poking and then trying to like maybe duel people who are coming out of spawn, or just kill them with pulse, I guess. So that was what my thinking was. But like you said, like,
but you're not a backline pest here, you know?
Yeah, right now it's no pressure.
Right.
And like you said, doing like half pressure for a longer period of time would have been better than
right. And that position from this statue as well would have given you vision of when you had an opportunity to go in hard for Widow, right? Because you could have actually seen. This is just guesswork right now, and nor do you have any vision.
Yeah. Sometimes, I'm way too far back. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do. But if I'm in a better position like that, then
I wouldn't even say it's just too far back. It's just when you do engage, it's all in and then recall out. You never consider about how I can utilize the map or cover to extend your time in the backline.
Okay,
that's the main issue right there. That's it in a nutshell. So far, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
And the ironic thing is you did a great job of it in first engage, but since then, not so much. Like even this right here, this is fine, but why are we blinking away?
I don't know.
Are you worried about a respawn? But then I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's. I think I was getting ready for this.
Okay.
I wanted to get ready to do another like spawn.
Gotcha.
spawn kill or
Gotcha.
tie people up at spawn at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm like, well, it's kind of good, I guess, because there were 2 back here. Well,
Yeah,
one
that's fine.
now the is leaving.
Okay. Yeah, this
and
is
then I
fine.
push up.
I mean, this is all fine. I will say this is kind of wild.
I don't know. Like the break is.
Yeah, she's not gonna be able
break
to
is
do
on me
anything.
the whole time.
I mean, it's fine though, right? Because you're still getting pressure in. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Plus, you're able to get good damage in on the on-end and such.
That's so funny.
You had the opportunity, right? You go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Brig fell asleep at the wheel, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. He's gonna. I feel So like
And there
now.
it is. And there's the swap.
Oh, he's. Oh yeah, you're right. They swapped to.
Yeah. You were saying something.
I heard the plonk plonk. So I mean, clearly the Rans are fighting right now. And I'm just, I'm crouch walking again, and I'm like, maybe I could be doing something right now, or
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be getting a kill with it, right? But you would be distracting at a good time, right?
yeah.
And then now, yeah.
Oh my god, I remember.
But do you see how again it's like everything is like a 1 clip for you, everything. Like look, ooh, we're gonna go in 1 clip, right? But then what's the problem with this positioning, right? Just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Like you could have sat here and shot. You could have dropped here and done this number. Ooh, bless. We could have done this number, right? Blinked back, blink through, shoot, harass, right?
Yeah, a big thing for me is I'm going with these all or nothing plays, and I could instead be like using the cover, like you said, to extend the pressure. And it may not be a 1 clip. I mean, it's not going to be.
No.
But, yeah, I know this.
Reaper got smacked in the back. I mean, he got hit by that Rhine hammer in the back. I don't think he was expecting that.
I didn't think he was gonna come in because like my Rhine pressure. But
all right, get him.
No, I mess it up.
That's okay though. That's okay. It did bait a lot of attention for a second. Unlucky.
I don't know what this Reaper is doing, man.
Ooh, okay. It's a clean 1 clip though.
Thank you. And then here I'm.
This is dumb. You should have just lived in the back line and spawn camped Reaper. You're really low. You might die here actually.
I make it by the skin of my teeth, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, it's the skin of your teeth. Yeah. Should have just stayed backline. there.
Okay, and
because the fight was lost, right? The fight was lost. So then, as soon as you clip the Reaper, like your team's dead, right? So just live, just sit back here in your cover, in your health packs, and spawn camp. You would have caused so much frustration from them.
That's true. I forgot that.
Because then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot the break. No, fight's lost. No, get out.
Yeah. When the fight's lost and they have someone down,
right? Because you risk dying here, and then you're also not really investing for the future fight right now, are you? You're actually making it worse for the future fight.
I could be in the back line, but now I'm
right. Which is weird because you were so backline focused, and then now we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what are these blinks? Probably just needed 2. I don't think you needed 3.
That's a good point. Yeah, sometimes I do these weird angular blinks that if I just blink more towards in a straight line, I could only use 2.
Yeah, like for example here, right? 1 blink here, then now you have 0 blinks. Then you blink in, then you get naded, and so you have to recall when you should have just needed to blink back, right?
Yeah.
You didn't need to burn your recall there. I mean, you had to burn your recall there, but you shouldn't have needed to. This is fine, by the way. Nice. It's also like little things like this too, like right.
Like I probably
here you blink in there, right? That blink to the cart was not necessary, so that's gonna get you whip shotted. There's the inspire. Now you're down half your HP, and there's your recall, right?
Yeah.
A little more discipline with blinks for sure. Nice, the team player. But that being said, I wonder if that was the play.
Yeah, that is a good point.
What about next fight? What about second breakfast? So like, I don't know. Like I feel like you could be thinking this is. I appreciate, but it's not your job. Your job is to set up for next fight. Raper doesn't need to set up for next fight necessarily. Ryan doesn't need to set up for next fight. You do.
Yeah.
Here we go. But did we? Is this where we wanted to go, or is this just what we had with the time that we were given?
Probably the time we're given.
Right. I actually do think this is probably the best angle for you to play, though. I like the cover here. I like the health pack here. It's not as deep. You know the fight's could be happening here. So this is ironically the best positioning I think that you could probably have picked. But you know, was that an accident or a decision?
Kind of coincidental.
Right. Go.
It's a boof.
It's okay.
And then I'm like, well, I gotta leave.
So here's the thing. Again, are you seeing it? So this you miss. Yeah. Unfortunate. But what should you be thinking about right now? Maybe even pre-pulse. Where should you go? It's hard, isn't it?
To the. I know I end up going behind them, but
what about here?
Oh.
What about here? Or in here?
Yeah, it's these covers that I'm not thinking
or
about.
here, back to here.
I just go way back, and I don't even have cover. Well, I guess I do have cover where I end up going, but I don't consider like that pole.
And then there's the problem, right?
Yeah, because I'm so far back,
right?
I don't have visibility.
But it's that one bang, and then you are floating into the west.
Oh, like kind of full committing.
Right,
yeah,
it's all the way commit, and you're not thinking ahead of time about where I want to continue my pressure from. And so you're blowing extra blinks, you're playing in a worse position, and then you're basically MIA.
Yeah.
So it's like conceptually, I think you're doing the right things, but just...
This Reaper just stands still, I think. I don't know what's...
Chad.
It's pretty funny.
All right, as long as it's making sense, that the thing that we're talking about with the cover
usage.
It's weird to think about with Tracer, because it's all about like, oh, I want to find out my position of where I start my flank. So for you, you're probably only thinking about this position, right? Or you're thinking about this position, or you're thinking about this position. But that's not good enough, as you're seeing now. You have to think, I'm going to engage, and then where am I going to kind of play around from that position?
Yeah. There are all these like little covers that
yeah. I mean, this is more of along the lines of you set up and your Ryan just goes, oh, you're like, oh, guess we're fighting, you know, so I'm not going to pick you on this one. This is whatever. Ryan probably dies for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Keep. Nice. Oh, you almost got him. Yeah, that fight was just honestly, you set up and then your Ryan pushed way in front, and so you're like, I have to help, and then you ended up in a really bad angle, so don't worry about that one.
I will remember the Ryan sounds. That's actually not something I
Gives you good timing windows. This fight's lost. Okay. Oh, you live. Nice. So you're set up. You know where the fight's going to happen, approximately. So where are you going to play? Let's see. Let's actually... And so I'm going to see what you're going to do, and then I'm going to open the floor to you to answer that question.
Like, what's the best... Or what was the question? Sorry.
Where you should play. So let's just see what you do.
Okay. That was actually me using the cover, so I'm kind of happy. Like,
yeah, but where we weren't doing anything, were we? That's the problem, right?
I was kind of like a dumb engage, like
yeah. Like so what would have been a better thing to do given the circumstance? Now they're blowing some portals right now. This is pretty rough, but what do you think?
Instead of trying to like get behind the brig. Then...
Well, you got here fine. Now what? She's turned around. You are... Let's actually find the frame. Right here. Now what?
I could continue past her to the right staircase and then like maybe go upstairs.
More greedy, but yeah, sure. What else?
I I'm really focused on just getting, like, even now I'm thinking I want to be at the high ground where the Kree is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think contesting the single is probably the best thing you could have done, and great cover here too, right? You could just peek over the edge,
Yeah,
and then drop for an opportunity. Yeah, agreed. Well, let's say you didn't have high ground here, you didn't have time to. Where else? You gave me one option. You gave me two options. What's another option? What's a really stupid basic option? How about you do this?
I literally just sit here.
You know?
And do the little, okay, peeky, tickle.
You know? Right?
But I don't really know what to do against. I guess it's because I don't really see that much Brig, but now I'm going to because she got buffed. But
yeah,
when she's like staring at me with shield, I don't know what to. I guess shoot the shield.
Break the shield, juke the whip shot.
It's not a Rhine shield.
Right. It's break the shield, juke the whip shot. I think it's only your second. It'll break in your second clip if you land all your bullets, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think I'd have to test, but I'm 90% sure.
I'll test it after this.
Yeah. Now she might drop it to save preserve some of it, but you know, then now you're doing damage. But this is just you're just not doing anything now. Oh man. Oh my goodness, the shatter of the week.
Yeah, my Rhine goes in.
Nice. Nice. Set up, stage 1. Then follow through, stage 2. Maybe that's the way that we think about it, you know? Where do we start? Where do we stay? Kind of see the difference between those two questions?
Yeah, my first one, the way I was thinking of it, at least before this, is set up and then you go in for like 1 second or something.
Right.
Whereas if you say follow through, it's like that could be a very long process.
Right. Now this map is weird with it because there's not a lot of angles and flanks, so it's pretty narrow. Do you want to look at the next map and try and answer that question?
Wait, play this a little bit so I can hear my piano playing.
Oh, okay, my bad, sorry.
And what a shame that would be.
That's good. Huh. Is that Jesu Joy or Jesus Joy Man's Desiring or whatever?
It's like Ode to Joy.
Ode to Joy.
I do.
Oh,
I do
you're
love
right.
it.
You're right.
Bum 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 bum.
Oh, see, I always get those two confused. You know what else I get confused?
Hark the Herald Angel sings. Bum 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 bum.
Do you play piano?
No, I just I was in choir for a bit and
okay.
playing some guitar now. But
Nice.
music is beautiful.
I love music.
Yeah, your album. I listened a little bit to it. It's good.
Oh, appreciate it. Nice, clearing the angle, right? That's good. That's good too.
Yeah, the Doom.
And the other thing too is like look at your positioning too. If this Doom starts to turn and shoot at you, right? It's not so easy for him, right? You got the advantage in the duel. Like this is another thing. It's like when you're taking duels and flanks, just raw 1v1. Screw the Brig, right? How do you win a 1v1? With cover.
Yeah, like
You
when
know-
I was able to isolate.
Right. You bait some of his cooldowns, duck behind a wall. I've actually got a video in the works right now, which just talks a lot about Tracer 1v1 micro. And one of the big ones is cover usage and how you can use that to manipulate reloads, how you can use it to manipulate and bait cooldowns or bait people to use half their clip, you know? So this is good.
I'll take that video out.
Nice. Wow, yeah. You know,
I
almost
didn't
nice.
pay attention to the.
Yeah, you just didn't pay attention to Hanzo. Okay, so then we set up, we cleared it out. Now what? Optimally, where would we go?
High ground probably.
Whoop, and then now you've got all the time in the world, pressure and shoot. Then then where would you go from here? I almost gave it away.
I was gonna go statue.
Yeah, you go statue, right?
Yeah,
Go statue.
I see what you're
Yeah,
going
you go
there
statue, play around. You got a health back, you juke, you got a blink. Then you got 2 blinks, you can get your recall. You can blink. Yeah. So you're set up properly, and you're able to position to station with it as well.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So it would work against this comp because they don't really have mobile heroes. Well, okay, apart from the Doom. But let's say they had, in addition to their, so they still have hit scan. They still have the poke, so they have Hanzo.
Yeah.
But then they have like ball tracer. Like if I do something like that where it's like, then almost certainly if the tracer is not on my backline, then they will try to clear me out.
Well, stop
Or if
right
they have,
there. If the tracer's not in your backline, remember the summer question that we started off with?
yeah, then she's not providing value.
Right. So then you just sit, you park, you sit right in the side ground, and you could just mark Tracer, shoot their tank from behind, just hold this position. Hanzo tries to push you, you take the duel. Tracer tries to push you, you take the duel. If the Tracer leaves, take the duel with the Hanzo. If they're playing entirely anti-dive heroes. Let's just say they're playing dive themselves. Then you're not really concerned about peeking a Hanzo because there isn't Hanzo. So you just kind of play like a soft off angle, almost like a soldier or Cass, right? You just kind of damage, duel. You're not playing necessarily to dive the Kiriko Lucio or Moira Lucio backline anymore, right?
I see.
So you get punished less. The thing is the reason why we flank these heroes is because you don't want to stand in front of those heroes. But there are heroes like Moira Lucio, Sombra Tracer, where the rules in that are more malleable because those heroes punish you less for standing in front of them.
Okay, that's and that's another thing. Like me, like when let's say I try to go on their Zen or something, and then the Tracer goes on me, I'll be like, rats, I lost because now there's a 2v1, I can't do anything. But actually, because the Tracer's on me, that is a win because
right. As long as you survive, which all of a sudden ties back into recovery usage. If you're able to blink to here, you will survive versus that Zenyatta Tracer leagues longer than if you had just tried to one clip the Zen from here.
And losing that battle slowly.
Right. Now, one clip on Zen is something worth trying if he's not paying attention to, but like, let's say it's like Zen Brig, for example, and they're looking at you, don't play for the one clip. Play for the distraction, the bait, the burn of time, essentially.
Oh, I ended up going here anyway.
Yeah, because as you saw with the Widowmaker earlier, it's like, if they lose distraction, if they lose focus for just a few seconds, you can one clip them at any point in time. There you go.
I did it.
Yeah,
I did it.
You did it. Now let me ask you a question. Is there anything happening? Use your ears. And your eyes, I guess, now, because you can see your team through your walls, right? Uh-oh.
Nothing's really happening.
So, what do you do?
Keep making eye contact with Bap. I don't know.
Run. I would run.
Really? Okay.
You're set up here. Just run.
That is something that happens. Is like I get set up early, and then I'm early, and then I'm already this close, and then they clear me out.
Right. I was gonna say you already answered your question there. I set up early. Oh. I mean, sometimes you have to set up early, right? But then you just run the backline, and this is a very common thing in OWL when people were playing this map. They'd push aggressively, and they'd try and bait attention so their Tracer could triple blink into the backline, and then they'd reset, wait for the Tracer to get a health back, restabilize, get blinks back, and then they'd repush. You kind of see what I'm saying? So for you, you're at that time now where it's just you. You're set up well, but just chill. Yep.
Oh my! I don't know how good my.
You're just the best. Honestly, the greatest. Maybe the greatest of all time. This is good.
I guess not the worst as my.
No.
I think a funny story is like I went on like a 1-11 losing streak because I hit Masters 3. I went from like Diamond 1 to Master 5 to Master 3. I was like, oh wow, and then I started. I don't know when I get like a rank up like that, then I start like playing weirdly, or I feel like I have to play differently or something because I'm like, oh, everyone's so good. I don't even know what happened, and then I got kind of tilted, and then and I was like, okay, I feel like the worst Tracer now. I even named myself worst Tracer. I named myself the worst here.
I see that
kind of as a funny like ego, I guess. Ego reducer. But anyway.
I don't think you needed an ego reducer if you went 1-11. I think you're just having a pity party at that point, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You would name yourself the worst if you were like Masters 1 on a win streak. That would be an ego check. But it wouldn't really, because you'd know it'd be a joke. So, I don't know. Funny, I guess. Okay, so like here, it's just like you've survived. You've pulled back their attention. You've created some space. Let's see if we can get set up for next engage. Let's see what happens. Oh, also, by the way, how do you handle when you get on a big win streak and all of a sudden you're Masters 3, Masters 2? How do you handle that?
I get scared.
What should you do?
Probably keep playing the same. I don't know.
Let me read you a quote here. I don't have the exact accreditation. I don't think.
So I won't run it through MLA plagiarizer.
Okay. Thank goodness. You had me nervous there for a second. Okay. All right. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. You get me?
That is exactly like nothing should really change. Like it just, I'm still playing the game. Like it's not like a drastically different rank even.
Play the game. Yeah. Whatever you're improving on, keep practicing. Nothing changes.
And like the short-term rank doesn't even really matter to me.
Don't be scared. Don't be overconfident. Just do your job.
That was actually sort of another reason I haven't been playing as much. Is like I'm scared to derank.
Yeah, that's very common. But your goal is top 500, right? Not Masters 2 or Masters 3, right? So it doesn't matter wherever you're at now. Doesn't matter. It's about where you want to be.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to where you were because you were scared to drop out a diamond, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I will keep that. That was a very nice quote.
And the thing is, it's like everybody struggles with that. So it's the people that are able to push past that achieve success. If you don't push past that, well, you're gonna be the fodder that everybody's stepping on when they get to masters. You know.
I will say it is really like yeah, there are times when I get demoted, and then I'm like, well, I'm back here. I may as well just play to improve. And then I actually do really well and climb back up.
Yeah, that's funny how that is, isn't it? If we could only just say might as well play to improve every rank up or rank down or staying at rank.
Yeah, that's
It's all right.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks.
All right. So it's kind of weird here because obviously it's a bit of a mess. Maybe not the best engage in the history of the world, but you got good cover. You got a health pack, so you can keep your position and you're still a nuisance, right?
Yeah.
Now you got the brig falling back. Better.
I could have went like this way. It would have been way better.
Yeah. Longer uptime further away from the brig. Yep. That simple. No way! Wait, you guys are actually gonna... No, you're not gonna win this.
No.
What is Ryan doing? No.
Bro, he's fearless. Not the player.
Yes, not the player, the feeder. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Triple blink. Yep. This is good. This fight's lost, but we're good.
Yeah, that was another reason I brought this this replay code is because I lost and I was like, I don't know how badly I was playing.
You played really poorly the first half of this attack.
Yeah.
I think the last couple of fights, I mean, I would go as far to say even like the BAP, like you pathed really poorly and got your recall forced instantly, you know? Was it from a lack of cover? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I guess you can construe it as such, but it was just a stupid engage, to be honest with you. You could have walked right up the stairs and had a much easier LOS in the BAP. This, now, it's whatever. Just don't compound it. Make this fight count, right?
Yeah, I think I try waiting for them to push up and hopefully they forget and I can back cap, but then I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And they're fighting now, so at least I'm putting some pressure. Okay, sometimes I do this where I look at people through glass and it's just funny because they're looking at me, but yeah. The brig is coming to...
You're like, you don't even see her! What? Oh my gosh! And then now you're out. You're trolling.
Yeah, it's okay, so assuming I didn't start trolling there, I guess what would have been...
It was okay. It was fine. I mean, the idea, the concept, the positioning, the cover was fine. You just need to mechanical better. I will say one thing. There is also a world where you could like ping pong and like triple blink all over to here, play the mini, and then you have like a different angle to play from. It's a high risk play, but you are able to change your angle essentially. Maybe get to something besides the brig. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, that's something I didn't think about though. It's like again cover. Like
yep.
I could have.
You're doing it without thinking, but you're not doing it consistently enough. Aww, you got rolled. That's okay. I think you guys win this fight. Surely. Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, this is a dummy.
Yeah, that's a dummy.
Okay, so sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of the time, I'll just go for random pulses on just for, in quotations, practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was definitely not the optimal play. The optimal play would have been to try and force that, or know that MR was not up.
Well, and it also just is not, it's harder to land pulses when your team isn't pushing with you because there's fewer distractions, right? And so they move more unpredictably, you're likelier to die, they're more likely to respond properly. Like that BAP might have panicked if there had been other things going on. Might not have had lamp, he might not have been thinking about lamp.
Yeah. Oh my, here's the big troll.
I mean, the funny thing is that everything that you've done here has been pretty good. You distracted Hanzo, you distracted Brig, now just win the 1v1. This is a first. This guy's so bad? Why? I know he's named Potato, I guess. All right.
Like, yeah.
This is
I
all
don't know why my
fine.
divas do
This
that.
is all fine. I think you could have also done like a double blink here, you know, and you know, something like that. Maybe a better angle.
I think I'm too scared people will clear me out, but then I also realize like for them, it takes effort for them to do that.
Right. And depending on when they clear you out, it would actually be not so fun for them. I just hate rally to no end. It's got to be one of the worst ultimates in the game.
Because it doesn't do anything, or
It's just dumb. Like they're reworking it, thankfully, but it's just AoE armor. Like okay,
there's not much really else you can do.
No, it's just annoying. It's like it's not necessarily OP. It's just thoughtless, you know.
Yeah, that was again another.
I mean, it was well timed, right? And it did what you wanted it to do. So whatever. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I feel like we lose this fight. Yeah.
All right. We got one more. You're gonna carry this one. What? No.
this is.
All right. Good angle. Good pressure. He misses the shatter. Oh! That Reaper is so fortunate.
This Reaper is just. I don't know what's going on with him, man.
It's the matchmaking. The diamonds with the GMs, the silvers with the masters.
Yeah, it's also my dog is growling. If you hear him, sorry.
No, it's fine. Unlucky. Okay, so what are you seeing? What are you seeing from your gameplay? What needs to be improved? I'll take notes as we talk.
Yeah, number one thing to me would be not thinking in like. Nothing I have to like just go all in and use all my resources, and then I have just like which would result in me having just like straight up downtime afterwards. Instead, I can like prolong my pressure. It may not be one cloaked type of pressure, but it's like significant pressure, half pressure you can say, and then I can like prolong that pressure by using cover. And even if it's only like 1 second or 2 seconds, that's still valuable. Yeah, I'll definitely say using cover. Not only to prolong my like pressure, but also to like help facilitate duels, kind of like with the Widow as well as when I was facing
That was definitely the biggest one. Anything else that stood out to you? Remember the ears?
Oh yeah. Definitely. When I hear like tanks fighting. Like that's the indication to me that like the fight is happening, and then I need to start doing something. That's actually not something I thought about before, like listening to the tank sounds, the tank sound ASMR. But yeah, that's something I'll keep in mind.
Okay. Anything else?
Which is weird because I'm so attentive to other sound. Like for instance, Roadhog Hook. I've been conditioned to like know when that's down.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Hearing the tank sounds that will help inform my teams or when like the fight is happening. Other things I'm trying to think about. I don't know, at least off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm trying to think here if there's anything for me. No, I don't think so. I think those are the two main ones, and those are crucial because it's like
they're big. Yeah,
they're big. They're real big, right? Like every single fight practicable. Obviously, we talked a little bit about mentality, chop wood, carry water, and we talked about a little bit. I'm glad we got a chance to talk through that because we did kind of blaze through your form, but obviously there were a couple of things that we talked about, like rank, not being scared of losing your ranked or playing differently when things happen. And I think those are, I mean, you've heard me do my reviews before. That stuff matters, matters a lot, more so than even this other kind of goofy stuff. Yeah, I don't have a lot more. Do you have any questions?
I had the questions in the beginning, or like about like certain comps, and then like
we didn't talk a lot about comp matchups here, but we did talk a little bit about specific niche ones. But if any of those questions do come up, my DMs are open.
Yeah. But it also was good to like as a reminder that I don't always need to kill people to get value. Like occupying people and forcing people to kill back for their supports is a big win in and of itself.
Nice. Yeah. 100%.
So I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Other than that, no, I don't have any. Don't have any further questions.
All right. Well, like I said, if they do come up, shoot them my way. And I assume you're familiar with the replay code rule or feedback.
I think it's like I can send you a replay code like sometime in the future, and you'll review it and get back to me in a few days.
Just send me like 4 timestamps, something like that. And then I do the whole screenshot thing. I take screenshots and type it up, and you suck here, and what are you doing here? And it's great. I love it. I just smash that print screen button and take different angles. It's like gets a photography stuff going on. All right, mate. We'll keep in touch. Good luck with your practice. I'll probably have this sent to you